Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia for those of you who are new, and I'm so excited to start this video because we are going to be talking all about tax season and how to make tax season less stressful. If you're a small business owner, you know that tax season can be literally a nightmare. And for somebody like me who is really not good with numbers or data at all, tax season is super daunting and I used to fear this time of year. However, I have been learning a lot of new tools and also just learning how to get prepared on time, and it has made tax season so much easier and a lot less stressful. So without further ado, let's get right into how to survive tax season. So my first tip for you guys is to get organized early. I feel like this is like one of the most self-explanatory topics, but like seriously, getting a schedule of tracking expenses and tracking your receipts and making sure you have all your documents in one place where you can find them. There are tools to help track your expenses and also track your receipts, such as Sage Accounting, which is today's sponsor. So thank you to Sage for sponsoring this video, and we will talk a little bit more about them and their platform in a little bit. But having accounting tools that help make the tracking process so much easier definitely helps your organization level when it comes to taxes. Because for me, when I first started my business, I first of all wasn't even using a business bank account. So that in and of itself made tracking expenses harder, but I was tracking everything with an Excel sheet, and now I do still do that alongside using my accounting software. But I feel like using just an Excel sheet for everything and not having something like automated is a lot more stressful, because then you have to manually go in and make sure you're recording them, keeping the physical copy of receipts. It's just a lot more stressful, and there's just so many more steps that's involved, which makes it more daunting. If the process is really difficult and not streamlined, that could make you feel less inclined to keep up with them and to maintain the tracking, the receipt tracking, and all that kind of stuff. Another tip for you guys is to open up a business bank account as soon as possible. Now, if you're watching this video and you have a small business and you've already registered for a business number, if you're in Canada, then I would presume that you already have a business account. But if you're just starting your business and you're kind of, doing some research on what it takes to start a business, I would definitely recommend opening up a business card or a business bank account, or even just having a separate credit card or debit card for business purchases and only making business purchases with that card. This just helps so much when it comes to separating your personal and business finances. Like I mentioned before, when I first started my business, I think for the first year or 2 years even, I did not have a business bank account, and this made tracking my expenses and just tax season overall a lot harder, because I was having to guess which expenses were personal and which were business, and I also didn't have a schedule to follow. So I was leaving this till like 6 months after making a purchase, and obviously I'm not going to remember it, especially because the purchases never really show up, like what store they're from, and it's just very like cryptic, I think, in the bank account, at least in mine. So I was like having to guess which purchases were for Michael's, which purchases were Amazon, and if I would make an Amazon order and order personal things and business things, it was just really hard to separate. So I would definitely recommend, first step into making tax season easier, separate your personal and business finances, because you will thank yourself later on for doing that. Now, one tool that has been really helping me stay organized and keep all of my expenses and reports up to date is today's sponsor, Sage Accounting. They have helped me track my expenses, keep track of all of my different receipts, and generate reports to give to my tax accountant, and really help reduce the chaos that is tax season, and especially end of year tax season. You might be wondering what exactly Sage Accounting is, and they are a platform that help business owners like me and you streamline your different financial processes like accounting, HR, payroll, and just general financial management. Sage Accounting is optimized for small business owners and is so easy to use, which is amazing if you don't have an accounting background, as I'm sure many of us creatives don't. The software is intuitive and it walks you through everything you need to track your business income and expenses. You can also generate tax reports that you can hand off to your accountant or use yourself when filing your year-end or even quarterly taxes. One thing that I really love about Sage is that they make it so easy to connect your business bank account. The connection with your bank account also makes it really easy to sync your transactions with your bank as you make them, and also makes it easier to categorize your different expenses and income sources as the actual tax categories that you will be using when you actually file your taxes at the end of the year, which that is just so helpful, because as somebody who always struggles with filing their taxes and also just gathering all the things for my tax accountant, having everything readily available available. And also having all of my digital receipts already loaded in the app is just so useful and makes the process a lot easier to handle. What's even better about the platform is that I actually handle all of my invoicing and payments for brand deals and other commission pieces through Sage. And with their Stripe integration, it makes it incredibly easy to get paid and track your payment status. So from the moment the invoice was created, sent, received, and paid, you can track it all with their invoicing system, which is super useful and definitely helps me track the extra income that I make through sponsorships and paid commission. Whether you're just starting out or you're already an established business, Sage Accounting has a wide variety of plans that you can choose to scale with your needs for your business. So if you want to make this tax season less stressful, then I highly recommend trying out Sage Accounting, because with Sage, you can stay organized and be prepared for everything that this tax season will throw at you. And they're actually having a really good deal. If you sign up using my link in the description, you can get the first 3 months of Sage for free. So definitely a great time to take advantage of this deal. And this is only for a limited time. So definitely check out the link in my description if you do want to give Sage a try. It doesn't hurt to be more organized and prepared, and I'm sure you will find it so useful. So thank you to Sage for sponsoring this video, and let's get on with some more tax tips. Another thing that is helpful for being prepared for the end of your tax season is maintaining a good schedule of keeping up with your finances. So something that I've had to learn is that it's not practical to leave all of the expense tracking and budgeting and financial reviews, report generating till like December 31st, because I am the master of procrastination and I will leave everything until like the day before I need to have it done. However, with taxes, it's really hard to do that. I feel like managing your finances is something that you can't really push off, or you shouldn't really push off. And so what I've tried to do is I try to set aside a day a month where I will go in and sync all of my bank transactions with my accounting software. And I will also keep up with my Google Sheets that I have that you guys have seen in the reset videos. I use that to track more of like a visual type of expense tracking that's basically just for me, and it is an added step, but I'll talk more about that in a second. But I do have sort of like a financial budget schedule that I just like to do every single month and try to keep up with taking pictures of my receipts and uploading them into Sage, making sure that I'm tracking every single expense, keeping up with my invoices and making sure that those are getting paid, and also just making sure that there's no holes in my expense tracking, and just making sure that I set aside a little bit of time to catch up on the months of expenses, because I spend a lot of money for my business and those expenses can definitely stack up. And then if you're stuck doing 3-4 months worth of expenses in one day, it could take forever and definitely put a damper on your mood. So setting aside some time every month, and honestly, ideally an hour a week might even be good. It doesn't even have to be an hour, honestly. It might even take you less amount of time, but just finding a schedule that works for you so that you can make sure that you're keeping up with your expense tracking. This will just make year-end tax season a lot easier and not so chaotic. Another thing, kind of bouncing off of setting a financial review schedule, is setting up a financial system. And by that, I mean just making sure that you have a way to categorize everything. Like I said, if you use an accounting software such as Sage, make sure that you're keeping up with adding in everything that you need for tax season, so receipts, expenses, tax categories, etc. And if you're not using an accounting software, which you should be, but if you're not, then definitely make sure that you have a way of categorizing your stuff. So keeping physical receipts in like a little accordion binder, making sure that you separate your business and personal expenses, keeping up with your budgeting, whether it's like a cash flow sheet or an income breakdown Excel sheet, just making sure that you have those systems in place to just make the actual categorization and budget review process easier for yourself, and you're not just scrambling and being a procrastinator like myself. Another really important thing that I actually never thought about before, I think this year, has been to monitor tax deadlines. And so for me, I do yearly taxes. I know for other people, they do quarterly taxes. So it's definitely dependent on, you know, your country's rules and your state's rules and stuff like that. But where I live, I do yearly taxes, and I make sure that I write down the deadlines for, you know, paying my HST, the deadline for that, the deadline to actually submit my tax return, and any other taxed things or tax deadlines that may pop up throughout the year. Typically, I'll do this before the next year starts. So in my Notion page that I have, I will have a section for finances, and that's kind of where I'll input in all the deadlines. I also put them in to my Google Calendar that's also linked linked with my Notion as well. So those will actually pop up and I have them as like alert me like a week before. So that way I am aware of certain deadlines and I'm not missing them, because you can actually miss them and then you have to pay an amount of money, sometimes a fine or a late penalty, and you really don't want to pay more money than you already have to pay in general. So definitely making sure that you monitor those deadlines and write them down, set reminders, put them in your calendar, whatever you have to do so that you don't forget is crucial, especially with filing your taxes. Like, you don't want to miss that, and you don't want to miss the deadline of having to pay them. So there you have it. Those are my top tips to help make tax season a lot less difficult and a lot less chaotic, to be honest, because it can definitely get a little frazzle-dazzled near the end of the year and you're scrambling for certain things. So I hope that you have taken away something that's useful from this video, and I really hope that the tax season goes well for you. And if you are somebody who has yet to try out an accounting software to help make this process easier, definitely check out Sage Accounting with the link in my description for your first 3 months free. And if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe so you can be a part of the Queenie community and watch more small business tips videos like this one, and also my weekly studio vlog. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!